What up, what up, what up? It's your favorite shit talking squirrel back for the Darrell Brooks video. So we're doing another Case Watch episode today. This was episode 4. We had some European blood on this one. We had a Just Nick was from England, I believe, and Charlotte from France. All of their details are up on the screen now. And all of their links will be in the description if you'd like to check them out. Beyond that, that's pretty much it. That's all I have today. I've been shilling squirrel merchandise down your throats so much, I'm going to spare that from you today. And, we're just going to jump on into the content. That sounds good. Does that sound good? I see you nodding. Okay, sounds good. Let's get this. Been a really long time since I've seen this day, so I'm more or less going into this fresh.
Well, they're all unpacking and stuff.
Hey everyone. Court will call State of Wisconsin versus Darrell E. Brooks, case number 21 CF 1848. May I have the appearances, please?
Yes, good morning, Judge Sue Apple, Leslie Basie, and Zach Witchow appearing for the state of Wisconsin.
Good morning, sir. Please state your name for the record.
I'm here as a third-party intervener in that matter, appearing as authorized representative for my client. I accept for value in return for value all of the charging instruments in this matter and make my exemption.
You pause it real quick? Somebody said this and I didn't understand it until now. If you look at the way his hairline goes up on his head, it literally looks like devil horns. Like, see how it comes to an angle in like the middle section of where his head cuts off? It literally looks like he has 2 horns on the top of his head, like a devil. You guys see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Right.
Thought that was funny.
Very cute.
For discharge of all obligations and charges connected with this case. I do not dispute any of the facts in these charging instruments, and I do not consent to or agree to being called that name, Your Honor.
All right, the record should reflect that the individual known to this court as Darrell Brooks is appearing in person in custody. He is also in civilian or street clothing, in a suit and tie, also wearing a mask. Mr. Brooks, I know today you're also not wearing headsets. I just want to make a record. Yesterday, they were offered to you, even charged. The different charging unit was provided. I did not see you wearing the headset at any point in time. And from my perspective, given your either legal arguments made, comments to the court, or questioning of witnesses that you were able to hear, but I just feel it important, given that you raised that issue, to put that on the record. I do want to address the case law that was filed by Mr. Brooks. I have a question, sir, because you had indicated there was this United States v. Lopez. I had looked up a case. I don't know if it's the one that you were referring to. I asked you if it was from 1995. You thought it was. Have you been able to look through your documents to tell me which United States versus Lopez you were referring?
I have not, but I also cited Hagens versus Levine as well, 415 U.S. 533, or I think you may have corrected
I was able
that.
to find Hagens versus Levine and Malo versus United States. I also found a case that is...
Does anyone else find it funny that he spends more time looking for cases to chuck his case out than actually working on his own, like the evidence itself that's in hand?
I do.
That's a common theme throughout his whole defense, is he spends more time trying to refute what everyone else is saying than actually defending himself against the charges.
There's no defense. There's
Yeah.
no story. The only story is you're lying.
Yeah.
captioned.
You perjured yourself is what he goes for most of the time. It's like, oh, you said this on this date, then how can I have this report and it contradicts it? You lied. And what what do you want us to do?
Or better yet, oh, I don't remember something that happened a year ago, so I mixed up what I said
Yeah.
originally. You got me.
United States.
I think it goes towards
versus
your
lo-
point you brought up in another video, Nawson, where it's like if the one thing he's pointing out is untrue, then it's all untrue. Like fruit of the poisonous tree, I think they call it. Like if this cop is lying about this one thing, the whole entire state's evidence is discredited, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Lopez at 514.
Well, don't
US.
believe your eyes. Don't believe the videos. Just believe what I tell you.
Yeah.
You know, eyes can deceive you.
49.
But believe me, I'm not Darrell Brooks, and I approve this message.
That's a case from, it was decided in 1995. It had to do with in part, with the,
Jurisdiction.
no, it had to do with a provision in the federal statutes regarding the gun safe free zone and whether that was constitutional or not.
I forget what the
was
case laws were in
a
reference
criminal
to,
case,
like what the
but
topic is or
nonetheless, that was
discussion.
one
I'm
of
pretty
the
sure
major
it's
issues in that case. So I don't
subject
know.
matter jurisdiction. I'm pretty sure that's what they're referring to. He cites a couple of case laws to her in defense of something. I don't remember if it's him being held in contempt or if it's the subject matter jurisdiction, but he just brought that up, so that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, one of the
they're talking
two.
about.
Or not
It's
being held.
subject matter jurisdiction.
If that's the case.
But
Yeah,
he-
the
was
majority
about-
of his stuff was
It was about
subject matter
jurisdiction. But I'm sure
What's that,
it
Nick?
typed. Sorry.
A lot of his stuff was subject matter jurisdiction.
I'm sure
Something
he
even-
only typed it on Google. You know, he just put the word, and there's some cases that appear, and just took them, but yet never read them. I'm sure.
You're probably right.
I want to say because I rewatched some of the highlights this morning, and he was claiming something to do. This was a case that hadn't been brought up because usually there's the obvious cases that are Illinois versus Allen and whatnot that they get brought up very frequently. But this one he was saying that she was like sort of out of line because she was referring to a federal case. But it's not a case that I'm familiar with or that I think even got brought up later in this case. But like he just kept referring to it as saying, well, you don't have, and again, it comes to subject matter jurisdiction, but saying like you don't have the right because this is a federal thing. But I thought that okay, and I mean maybe I'm wrong. I thought federal meant all like so federal like it goes across, but then the states can give more rights or fewer rights. I'm just it's very confusing.
So a federal case is any case that extends through multiple states. Like jurisdiction of the state of Kentucky wouldn't apply to a case. Say you got kidnapped in Kentucky and they drove you to Tennessee. That would then become a federal case because
Gotcha.
they cross state lines. And why he cites federal cases because in federal court you can challenge jurisdiction for that very reason because you don't necessarily know what the jurisdiction is of the case itself. So say for example, like I just said in the kidnapping
Crossing
case.
state borders. Yeah. Okay. I understand. As
Well-
somebody who lives literally on the border of a state, like I could probably throw a rock and hit another state. That the idea of that's so crazy because it's just like we cross borders constantly.
Well, yeah. So
like on a daily basis.
are you sure about that? Because my understanding is whether or not you violated a state or federal law. So if you violate a federal law, then it goes to a federal court.
That could be another way a federal case would get charged, but I know for a fact that the FBI doesn't get involved, which is typically the authority behind a federal case. They don't even work on a case if it hasn't crossed state lines, or they have other criteria, but that's the one that you hear of most. That it would be a local case down to the sheriff or the local police department, unless the perpetrator crossed state lines. So we're probably both correct. Is really what it comes down to.
And regarding the reference made to a federal case, I would
Yeah.
think that there would only be a federal case referenced because my understanding is that subject matter jurisdiction is only a federal case matter. Like
Oh,
you
is
wouldn't
that true?
you wouldn't see
Okay.
it come up in a civil case. But I'm not a legal expert.
Yeah, me either. My understanding of it, though, is that in federal cases, you can challenge jurisdiction and the proceedings will stop, which is what he's going for here. But it's not a federal case. Jurisdiction has been proven.
Right.
Right.
or not.
Um,
And without a
I don't-
citation, it's hard for me to know. So that's why I'm asking you if you have any other
I know.
information about
Again,
that.
I bring this up. I don't even know if that's part of one of your clips that you're gonna pull up. It was just it was something that sort of stuck out to me because there was a case named, and I was listening to it at like 1.75 just to get through it real fast. So I didn't catch the name of the case law, but again, well, I mean, she basically said no, denied. So
Okay, let's play.
Case.
I can possibly look on a break, but my understanding of that particular case was dealing with the specifics of subject matter and personal jurisdiction, which is why it was brought up for the record, which is something that I have been doing adamantly, is asking for the court to provide verified proof of jurisdiction, which I have not been provided with as of yet.
Court's not required to do that, sir. I understand what your objection is. It's been noted for the record multiple times. And the previous rulings of the court stand. I see no reason to revisit those issues, or what we call legally a motion for reconsideration, even if I were to take your reference to these cases as a request to reconsider based on a new legal argument. The cases that I reviewed don't support that. I do want to give the state an opportunity to at least make a record as to their position, and then I'll give you the last word if you want to make a legal argument to the contrary.
I do.
All right, so go ahead. I believe Attorney Basie, you were going to do that.
I was. Your Honor, I did review the U.S. versus Lopez, the Lopez case that you cited at 514 U.S. 549. As the court already indicated, it deals with the Gun-Free School Zone Act, which is a federal offense. The court found that that Congress exceeded its authority under the Commerce Clause, and therefore there was no jurisdiction. I don't find any analogy between that case and this case. Again, I'm not sure if that is the Lopez case that the defendant was referring to. With regard to Melo versus United States, this was a case involving an accident that the plaintiff had with an employee of the U.S. Postal Service who was driving a U.S. postal truck, and the issue became whether or not there was a valid claim against the U.S. Postal Service as a result of a claim filed against the employee, and the court held that there was not, and therefore jurisdiction was not conferred to the United States. Again, not a case that is on point with any issue that's been raised in this case. And finally, Hagens versus Levine at 415 U.S. 533. Again, this
there
is
he
one
is
in
in all
which
his
the
glory.
district court was found to have had jurisdiction to hear the plaintiff's claim. It was a case in which a New York, state of New York regulation addressed New York's ability to recoup some payments from AFDC, I believe, and there was a claim that violated the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. The court did find that the district court did have jurisdiction to hear the plaintiff's claim. Again, I did not find any verbiage from any of these three cases that would raise any type of argument in this case that this court does not have jurisdiction to hear this case.
So he just found 3 cases where where subject matter jurisdiction came up, and cited them as evidence
Yeah,
that this case didn't
civil,
have jurisdiction.
Okay.
civil cases.
What
Only.
an idiot.
I'm surprised he did that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Good job for Darrell today. He did homework.
Oh, Google
Yeah.
did it. Google did it.
He did
Yeah, Google.
he did half-assed homework, but he did it nonetheless.
Yeah.
It's either that or his prison lawyer that he has. The whoever told him that subject matter jurisdiction and being a sovereign citizen was a good idea to begin with, and like, hey, go with this, run with this. This will work.
What do we refer to it as? His sovereign citizen consigliere. He has in jail, like his right-hand man.
Oh, fair.
Honestly,
As an
I think it
Italian,
might have
can
been
I-
his mother,
can I-
you know. Like, his mother's been involved in a lot of stuff in this case, so I'm thinking his mother told him to do it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
somebody had said that too, that his mother's boyfriend was a sovcit and gave him most of the basis for his arguments.
Fair.
Interesting.
Your response.
Yeah, I respectfully object to that. It's clear.
And you say that he did. Sorry, pause one more time. You said that he did his homework. If he had actually done his homework, he would have found these case laws by himself. He basically cheated on his homework. Like, he used the crib notes. Remember, or no, what is it, Cliff Notes? Remember when you were in
Cliff Notes.
school and
Yeah.
if they caught you using Cliff Notes, you get friggin' expelled. So he didn't even do that right. Even when he does try to do his homework, he flunks.
in both of those cases that ultimately those cases were called correct by the Supreme Court, and that both cases ended up being voided because there was no jurisdiction.
Can I just like point something out that's like been super weird to me, and like I'm not trying to go on a tangent. I just have to say this. I find it weird. His mother calls him Darrell. When he was arrested and went into the interrogation room, he referred to himself as Darrell, but his grandmother referred to him as Darrell. Like, does anybody know this man's name? What is this man's name?
Well, when he
That's
got
why he
arrested,
lied.
he said Darrell too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yes, said Darrell.
But then later he introduced himself as Darrell Brooks. Like I'm like even in the
Oh yeah, that's true. When he says at the end,
he
"My
goes,
name is
I'm
Darrell
Darrell,
Brooks
yeah,
Jr."
that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, so first he
Constantly
like
changes.
exactly. I just think that's really weird because you would think his family would sort of have some consistent way of pronouncing this person's name.
Yeah. It's
Like,
Brian.
Charlotte, how would you pronounce that? Brian?
No, we say Brian. You know, Brian is the name we have in our first grade of English. Brian
Yeah.
goes to the kitchen,
Oh
so we know
gosh.
how to pronounce Brian.
That's funny. Here it's always like Jose goes to the kitchen
Yeah,
because we
Jose.
learned Spanish.
Yeah. I'm surprised he didn't use the name pronunciation thing as part of his argument for his name not being Darrell Brooks.
Well, I guess
it's
that,
Darrell
yeah.
Brooks.
Okay, let's say it in
Darrell.
French. Darrell.
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 Ugly. It's ugly.
It is very ugly. It's a gross name. Very fitting. Very apt.
Same thing in this case. How it applies is this court has yet to prove that it has jurisdiction. It has not been proven. There's been no certified document paperwork. There's been no proof. There's been no response to the demand for the statement of particulars. There's been no response to.
Once again, the impetus is always on everybody else to dispute what he's saying. You can go in there and say, "I have a chicken in my pocket, therefore I'm innocent of these charges." Show me lawful law where it says if I don't have a chicken in my pocket, I can't get charged by anything. Show me lawful law, Your Honor. He never does the legwork on his own to cite why he's doing something or why something is. The impetus is always on everyone else. So stupid.
haven't even established that
Show me lawful law.
the plaintiff is a living human being and not an entity. There's so many things that have yet to even be proven. And again, if both cases that were just cited were voided by the Supreme Court for lack of jurisdiction, how is this case any different?
They just explained that.
Thank you for your argument, sir. First of all, the Higgins and
Thank
the
you
Melo
for that.
decisions or Melo.
Thank you for that
these were
argument.
civil lawsuits. They weren't criminal cases at all. They dealt with the
Do
issue
you think he
of
ever got when she was being sarcastic at him?
What's
federal
that?
question
Do you ever think that he understood that she was being sarcastic?
or federal
Probably not.
claims and jurisdiction in the district court for those particular cases. There's nothing that's applicable to a criminal case in state court for this court to even find they're relevant. They may be case law, maybe law as it relates to that, but they're not relevant to the proceedings in this case. In the Melo decision, for example, that had to do with a lack of jurisdiction because the plaintiff had failed to exhaust administrative remedies. That's not something that's applicable here. And so in that case, the court did not have jurisdiction. In the Higgins case, again, it had to do with a federal claim and jurisdiction related to that, and not criminal charges brought by a state against a individual. The Lopez decision, while a criminal case, dealt with a federal law and whether the district court had jurisdiction. In Lopez, the U.S. Supreme Court struck down a federal statute that had made an offense criminal, and because of that, there was no jurisdiction. There have been no similar arguments made in this case at all. The arguments that you raise related to the Bill of Particulars, related to those types of issues have all been debunked throughout the ages in the courts of the United States of America, both in state court and in federal court. And I direct your attention once again to United States versus Benaby, 654 F 3rd 753. It's a 2011 decision from the Seventh Circuit that is very on point as to the arguments that you are raising. So there's no requirement for this court to do what you are asking or demanding it to do. And for all
And the reference to that case is as good as evidence as you could possibly get about subject matter jurisdiction. There's nothing else that could be provided.
The last one you're talking about, or Benaby?
No, the case that she references where subject matter jurisdiction is basically debunked on record.
Yeah, the last one. Yeah.
all of those reasons, this court will deny your request to dismiss, deny your request for the demand for particulars, even going back to one of the filings from the 3rd, dealing with your demand for a verified statement, your notice of special appearance. I mean, all of those things have been noted on the record, but to the extent that the court needs to respond to any of those, once again, your demands.
Sovereign filings crack me up. They always have the funniest names. Like, isn't one of them like Notice of Peace and Friendship? Affidavit of Truth? It's so preposterous. I love them.
Notice of Peace in French, but the whole thing is in French?
No, Peace and Friendship.
Oh.
That's like a very common sovereign citizen filing. Or motion or whatever.
Because I was about to say that's a pretty interesting angle if you just started writing everything in French. You're a sovereign citizen because you're not an American citizen. You're suddenly French.
Yeah.
Enchanté.
Enchanté.
Either overruled or denied, as the case may be.
Your Honor, may I respectfully request a legal reconsideration for your ruling?
No, I just went through my reasoning, sir. So without you meeting the standard under a motion for reconsideration under section 806.07. That request is summarily denied without any further argument. All right, with that.
For the record, may I request a legal or factual basis for your ruling, as you just cited?
You just provided it.
I just provided the legal basis, sir.
Yeah.
You just cited a case law from United States versus Beefy, correct?
My reasoning stands. The record before you and on the record speaks for itself. I'm not going to address this any further. Your objections are noted.
Respectfully, Your Honor, may I ask for a written judicial finding of facts and conclusion of law on this matter?
You may request. That request is denied.
For the record, may I
Yeah,
respectfully
because America is an entity.
Huh?
I said, you know this case? I said, USA is an entity. So it doesn't work for Darrell.
Oh, I see. Yeah. United States can't bring charges because the United States is an entity.
Yeah.
Is United States present in the courtroom?
Yeah. So it doesn't work.
interlocutory declaratory appeal on this matter, Your Honor.
That is not an issue this court would address. That would be for an appellate court, sir.
For the record, may I move to stay these proceedings until this instant matter is adjudicated by a court of competent jurisdiction?
That request is denied. This is a court of competent jurisdiction.
Based
and we
on
will
what?
proceed.
Based on what law or fact, Your Honor?
All right, Mr. Brooks, your objections are noted. I want to keep moving forward today.
May I respectfully object to that, Your Honor, based on the fact that you cited something that was a federal law, and then the cases that you went over in the challenge of jurisdiction were all dealing with federal guidelines.
This court's not going to explain the law to you, sir. I've cited the law, but I just direct you to those decisions. I believe they speak for themselves, and your request for any further articulation by this court as to the basis for the court's decision is denied.
May I respectfully object, Your Honor, and still ask for verified proof of...
Mr. Brooks, I've already addressed that. The request is denied. All right, moving on. Can the state... I'm moving on, Mr. Brooks. Thank you. Your objections are noted. Attorney Opper, I'd like to address the issue...
Object, Your Honor.
Your objections noted. I would like to address the issue of the subpoenas that were turned over to the state. If you could just make a record on that.
Yes, thank you. We have received the subpoenas that were provided by Mr. Brooks. I believe there were 12 in total. We are endeavoring to have all the individuals properly served, and we will assist in arranging their appearance here in the courtroom at the appropriate time, with the exception of that one individual who we believe has relocated to the state of Texas. There are no other concerns that the state has at this point in getting those subpoenas served and getting these people here.
Oh, I thought the state wrote the subpoenas, not him.
Advise the court that one of the witnesses on
he
Mr.
wrote them and they just dished about for him.
Yeah,
Again, I'm surprised.
they have to serve him for him because, according to him, nobody would accept a collect call.
Well, it was also that he had people had restraining orders against him.
Yeah, that Judge cites that would have been a special circumstance if he were to have filed his own subpoenas. Somebody would have filed that for him against Erica.
Exactly.
Brooks subpoena list does need a Spanish interpreter, and that also reminds me to update the court on our progress in that regard. For the state's case, we believe if we would need a Spanish interpreter, and it's still unknown to us, or uncertain I should say, it'd be later tomorrow morning, like probably after the morning break or even after lunch. We could call these witnesses out of order if we had to. So if you want to just say possibly 1 p.m. tomorrow, we could certainly work around that. And then when we get to Mr. Brooks' case, one of his witnesses will need an interpreter as well. We'll try and help the court keep track of that as well.
How much do you think the interpreters got paid? Like $1,000 a day of taxpayer money?
They make pretty good money.
Really?
They didn't get paid enough. Didn't get paid
Well,
enough.
You
I-
can move to America.
I used to work as an interpreter, and I did not make that much money doing it.
Okay.
Oh, really?
But I was not a courtroom interpreter. I was a medical interpreter. So I would help people that were like, had come and didn't speak English. I would go to the doctor with them and make sure that they understood what was being explained to them.
Well,
I saw a hearing with. What's that?
What?
I based that estimate on the assumption that they probably have to fly someone in.
No, it's got to be somebody local to interpret Spanish.
I don't know. Not who's
Wouldn't
doing
they
it for a
have-
career.
Wouldn't they have someone like that works in the court that can be a translator already?
You would
I
think.
would assume so. Yeah, like I was about to say. I was watching a hearing with Judge Manning where they talk about interpreters and how much it costs or whatever, and I could have sworn they said it was something like $1,000 a day. Like they get paid for the whole day, regardless of it could take like 20 minutes, and they get paid for the day.
I mean, it's got to
Alright,
be a job, and it's not like you're going to be doing it every single day,
Yeah.
And it's a living, so.
Maybe somebody in the comments can that does it and can provide some more information on that. So if you're watching this and you're an interpreter, please do leave us a comment on what you get paid.
Have you been in contact with the individual at the clerk's office that assists with making arrangements for the interpreter, since it is the court's responsibility to do?
About the jurisdiction.
I thought I was very clear, sir.
Just bringing it up again.
Proof be validated.
Wiping no tears. Look at
Do
him.
you think that's just a show for the jury? Like that he does have a more
1,000%. That is 1,000%. Wait, is the jury out? Actually, I don't even know. Because that was pathetic. He's literally just wiping dry tears. Oh my good God, this guy.
Why would you pretend to cry over subject matter jurisdiction now? Like that's a weird point of matter to cry over.
Well, no,
It's
yeah, it's very difficult to talk about. It's trying for him. I think what he's going for is, before they took a quick break right before this, it was very powerful testimony from, who is it? Jeff Rogers. And so they take their break because his testimony was powerful. And so he's trying to put on, even after their probably like 20 to 30 minute break, he still has tears left to drop.
Now you see what it is. He's thinking about all that subject matter jurisdiction he's gonna be getting from his prison husband Rhino, because he's gonna be getting all that jurisdiction. All right.
16 inches of jurisdiction.
That's not mention a good hook too.
Oh God. So yeah, well, hang on. It looks like they go to break at 1:37:10 and they come back at 2:12. So over half an hour, he's apparently still wiping tears away. It's 1,000% fake. He's putting on an act for the camera. I think mostly is what he's doing it for.
Dude, he's faking it like a 50-cent hooker orgasm.
I'm so glad you joined.
Is that a judicial determination?
It can't get no faker than that.
My ruling was put on the record earlier, sir.
And I like through even his force. I'm so sad. Yeah, he's like through sad talk, still going. Is that a judicial determination, Your Honor?
The same rhetoric.
It's so preposterous that he's so greedy. He's going for, oh, I'm so sad. But did you bring up the jurisdiction? No. God, so what a psycho.
Judicial determination. Yes, motherfucker. Now shut the fuck up.
Yeah, big breath. Get yourself, get it together.
You know who that cop reminds me of? I just realized this the other day. Have you ever seen the show Dinosaurs?
Oh,
Yeah.
not the
Yes.
mama?
Yeah,
The
that
dad.
baby who says, "Not the mama."
Not the
He looks
mama, not the mama.
he looks kind of like that, huh?
The cop in the
No.
back?
Yeah.
I think he
Yeah.
looks more like the older brother from that show, like the one who's wearing the leather jacket and has like the floppy spike mohawk.
What?
He looks more like him.
No.
Do you know the show?
Yes.
I do.
Wait. Y'all talking about Officer Poker Face?
He looks
Yeah,
like the baby. I agree with that.
Captain No
He's all
Face. Yeah,
pink and just round faced and looks miserable.
yeah, with
Yeah.
the buggy eyes.
It's the mouth more than anything.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, not the mama.
Right.
Man, all I know is Deputy Poker Face. I would never want to play chess or play poker with that son of a bitch. God damn, you don't know if you're coming
Yeah.
or going.
I said on Alistair's
Thank
stream
you, everyone.
when
Please be.
the jury comes back around for jury 2.0, he's still going to be the bailiff, but he's going to have like 6 of those World Series of Poker bracelets because he won like so many times. He's
seated.
blinged out.
That whole time, Deputy Poker Face, man, you can tell he just wants to go sprawl
Mr.
and brawl
Brooks, you
on
may
Brooks'
start your
ass.
Questioning of this
Yeah.
witness then.
Just a second,
Oh, stop it.
What?
He's not even a good actor.
Oh my god, that was egregious. Just give me a second, Your Honor. Let me pretend like I'm being sad some more. I didn't get enough camera footage of how sad I was.
He's definitely sat there thinking, now, am I being sad enough for the jury? Will they know that I am sad if I don't
Yeah.
say it?
Just give me 1 second, Your Honor. I'm a little emotional. You see, my prison husband made me a new woman, and it's that time of the month. I need some Midol, some chocolate, damn it.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, the audacity to do this.
I just needed a second.
Keep in mind, he was just up there giving her bullshit about subject matter
Oh,
jurisdiction.
God, again. He did it again.
Wiping his dry-ass tears.
One last wipe for good measure.
Yeah.
Do you reckon he poked his own eyes? You know, if you poke him hard enough, you start crying. So you reckon he does that out the back? You try and draw tears?
I was literally just thinking that he was trying to dry them out so he'd look like he had tears.
I apologize to the witnesses.
Yeah, that's like
A little more.
Amber Heard. Same.
So
Wrap
fair.
your eyes so they look red.
Either that or start plucking nose hairs.
Yeah, that'll do it.
You'll tear up, you'll sneeze a lot, but you'll tear up.
No wonder we
He can't
can't see his other hand.
He can't get to his nose.
All hand.
Beefy,
Yeah,
Beefy and I have the theory that he, during his closing argument where he actually got tears to fall from his eyes, he was using Vicks vapor rub in his nose.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you see at the end when he actually takes a whole wad of tissue paper and stuffs it up his nostrils.
Mhm.
It looks
Yeah.
like he's wiping whatever substance you put in there out.
I think somebody in prison told him, like, yo, bro, I've done this before. I needed sympathy because of the grandma I killed, and I did this. Stuff some of this up in your nose.
I wouldn't doubt it. That's a politician trick. They also use little tiny droplets of ammonia on their shirt collar, or excuse me, on their collars or their sleeves rather.
I saw in an interview with the actress from The Last of Us that they have what's called a cry stick, and it's got like.
Yeah.
Do you know what's in it?
I think it's actually sort of something very similar to a Vicks Vapor Rub or an ammonia thing. Yeah, it's basically, yeah.
They just
That's
wave
what
it
it
in
is.
front of their nose, and it makes them tear up.
You do it in your nose and you rub it on, you can dab it under your eyes too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an old politician trick.
Wow.
Or you can just learn how to act, or actually, be contrite and feel sorry for the shitty things you did. Sorry, I didn't mean to curse.
Can you recall
But like,
what
just
time?
actually feel remorse. That'll work.
Yeah, that would be the best way.
But we're well past that.
Man, the day Darrell Brooks feels remorse is the day I become a ballerina, and my fat ass don't look good in a tutu.
I don't know. I'd have to see it.
You arrived
I've seen
at
some
the
big
parade
guys. I've seen some big guys try ballet. So
that evening.
That's an image I don't even want.
you'd be shocked how graceful they are.
Do you recall how long you intended to stay?
You could be like that hippopotamus from Fantasia. Have you ever seen that movie?
Oh yeah.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ, I just
actually.
skipped my Mountain Dew.
You are fire with references, man. I gotta give you credit. You're great at these callbacks.
God damn, you on a roll, man. Call you butter.
The parade until it was done.
You testified earlier to seeing some of the video footage that was played. Would that be fair to say?
Yes, that's fair to say.
Do you recall how many times before today you saw the video footage?
I believe I saw one of the videos once.
And you don't recall seeing any of the other videos?
Maybe clips we were bouncing around.
Do you recall by whom you were shown the videos?
The folks at the prosecution table.
That referring to the 3 prosecutors sitting there right now?
Yes.
All 3?
Yes.
What time stamp y'all at right now?
I'm actually thinking we might go somewhere else.
2:38.
You stated.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
My cat decided to hit the pause button on my controller and pause my shit. Like, damn it!
Your cat hit pause with its paws.
Like the children that were.
She too damn smart for her own good.
Sitting here today, I don't remember that.
You said something to that effect. Would that be fair to say?
You'd have to be more clear.
You said something to that effect of what you just said.
To what effect?
That you sitting here today, that you do not recall seeing anyone struck ahead of you.
That's correct.
I love that defense. Because I didn't hit all of them, I'm innocent.
That you did see who was struck ahead of you.
You see, if I was really trying to hurt people, I would have hurt more people. But I only hurt a few
Is that
people.
a question?
So because of that, you gotta let me go.
Oh, preposterous.
What the fuck universe does that work on?
I mean, if that were the case, there would be no such thing as a serial killer. Because nobody's killed everyone. Yeah. And, I mean, based on his logic, if they're dead, they can't testify against you, and therefore there's no case whatsoever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hell, it's a free-for-all, guys. Let's go.
Yeah, if you can't file a claim against him, I mean, come on now.
The video, what are you talking about?
I swear to God, I think the inmate lawyer, the person that sold him the sovereign citizen shit, was an inmate lawyer named Squeak or something. Yo, Darrell, this Squeak, here's what you got to do to get off the charge of dropping issue. You heard me?
Wrote my statement. I wrote what I remembered at that time.
So, would it be fair to say?
Then again, I wonder if an inmate lawyer like that was probably telling him that shit just to troll him. Just for shits and giggles.
I hope
See if
so.
he'd do it. That'd be awesome. It's like going over to his buddies, like, bro, he's actually saying that shit. Write up some more crap. Let's see what we can get him to do.
Oh, I wouldn't
It's just
doubt
an
it.
elaborate prank.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it, because inmates will do dumb shit like that just for laughs.
That'd be great.
Bro, look at this. Tell him to say, I don't consent to my name. Dude, go over there, give it to him. See if he does it. It's so stupid.
Oh yeah, dude, cool. Yeah, no problem, man. I'll get him. Oh wait. Let me get him to go talk about subject matter jurisdiction too. That'll really put the nail in the coffin, man. This is gonna be awesome. Watch this shit.
Is this admiralty law or what? Like, come on now.
Yeah, because there's an eagle on the flag.
Oh yeah,
is that-
he actually says that at one point. He points to the eagle as the fact that it's. Oh shucks, what is his point? Do you remember, Charlotte, with the eagle?
It says there's an eagle on the flag, so it's an armored, like an army thing.
Yeah.
Right. That's military insignia, is what he says. Yeah.
Yeah. According to sovereign citizens, if there's a bronze eagle on top of the American flagpole, then that means it's a part of the U.S. military, and that means it's held under a military tribunal, which is like a court martial.
Yeah.
Therefore, it is a federal court because of that. Because of
it
that
all comes
eagle.
full circle.
And because of that, they have no jurisdiction over you because only the military handles military matters. It does not handle civilian matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can't say it that bluntly because it sounds stupid.
Yeah.
Instead, you have to like use this word salad mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, word salad, exactly what it is.
Hey, can I get some ranch dressing to go with that that word salad? Because I mean, goddamn, it's a little dry.
Today, that anything about your statement may have changed?
Nothing has changed.
So your testimony here today would be accurate to what you reported?
And if this is Admiralty Court, you see, Your Honor, you got to let me go because I identify as a 16-gun frigate, all right? Now, this Admiralty Court, under U.S. Code 18922C, under federal law, says if you do, it only works for 16-gun frigates and under. Since I identify as a 16 and up, if the ship don't fit, you must acquit.
Nawson, let's skip ahead a little bit. Let's go to 3 hours, 12 minutes.
In your interview with the DIC.
Grab that, so we'll have Pete take it and we'll bring it back to you.
Yeah, usually they don't like me to have the pointer. I tend to hit people with it, so that's probably why they bust.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
And that's
3 hours,
marching the parade.
32 minutes, not 12.
And
sorry.
Do you know, was the truck playing any music as the parade was? Did you guys have any?
It should be his cross. There we go. Yeah, 32.
Close to the curb or
good enough.
About what position?
That's good. That's good. You're fine now.
Near the blazer strip.
Yes.
Did you see the vehicle strike anyone before it struck you?
No.
No further questions.
Thanks.
You may step down.
Oh shit! I just realized day 4. That's the day Attorney Basie, her give a damn busted.
Before he's excused, I'm just going to excuse the jury momentarily. We'll let you know.
Because whenever he started opening that whole ground, some of that shit, she just finally popped off back to him. Like, first off, the grounds, motherfucker.
I never saw
really?
that.
I don't have that in my timestamps.
Please.
Yeah, God, I can't remember who it was on the stand, but shit, it was a little skinny white dude.
It take us forever to find it.
I think there's actually quite a few people on the stand on this day, like a lot.
I know on the Mushmouth Joe video of day 4, it was around the 1 hour mark, 1 hour 20-minute mark, I believe.
Yeah, it doesn't really help. Sorry.
No, he
That's
puts
true.
a lot of stuff out, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's why I like him. He whenever he does his edits for the video, for the trial, for the whole trial, he cuts them down big time.
Yeah. Every time he says I object to my name, he'll have like, my name's Darrell Brooks at the side as well.
All All right, thank you. Be
Oh, the
seated.
best edit he could have done with that Brooks name is having like a little music
Mr.
beat
Brooks, I
going
cut
to it.
you
You know,
off
Brooks,
when you were
Brooks,
asking
Brooks.
questions
What the business? What the
about
business?
what this witness had seen on the news.
Business,
I'll
y'all.
give you an opportunity to give me an offer of proof as to why you believe that's
God, I made so many rap
relevant and
songs to that
specifically as
motherfucker. Holy
to
shit.
this witness.
It's relevant because of how close he testified to being away from the vehicle. He testified to being 20 yards away from the vehicle, which is not super close, but it's not far enough that you wouldn't be able to see a driver or see into the car. So
That's an argument, sir. So what questions would you have that you didn't already ask, and how does the news reports relate to that?
But it's not
Yeah,
fair.
I've seen the alleged defendant on the news, and maybe that may jog his memory back to if he's seen the driver.
But he testified
So?
he didn't. see
It
the
probably
driver.
did.
So
Yeah, how does that
Also-
have any relevance?
Video is video. Like,
He also testified to never making the comment that he didn't remember the event, but it's clearly in his summary and in his report that he said that.
Here we
So
go
it's
again. See, we were
conflicting.
talking about it earlier, right? Pause. Awesome. He spends so much time trying to attack people, what they said before, as against to the police reports, as if it has some bearing on the case. It's like, talk about priorities. Like, how about you put some energy into actually formulating a defense as opposed to just attacking every witness's credibility? If you're attacking every witness's credibility, it's basically the same as attacking none of their credibility.
Yeah, good point.
Actually, I think I know what he was doing just then when he was trying to attack about the video. What he was trying to do was he was trying to establish that, okay, they're just watched the video. Now they're making shit up to make me look worse than what I actually am.
I mean,
His
maybe, but
report-
like, can anything make him look worse than the video itself?
The way he's acted in court.
Good point.
I mean,
Yeah, the way he's acting in court. That does accomplish that.
Yeah, really.
well,
I love how
that's
he goes on these long tangents about her hiding things from the jury in front of the jury. Like, at what point are you sacrificing your own image to said jury by trying to question the credibility of whatever they are or not letting in? It's like, any benefit you might have received from trying to instill some sort of question about the states and the defense is null and void in the fact that you are pissing every juror off by taking half an hour to do so. It's so stupid.
Oh, I wish I could have been a fly on the wall for the jury deliberation, man. Oh, that would have been awesome.
I don't
They
think there
had
was
to-
a deliberation. I think it was just like, how fast can we sign these papers? Because
Yeah.
they had like hundreds of pages of things to sign.
And they only deliberated for like 2 or 3 hours, if I remember right.
Yeah, I think
don't
that's
even
how long
think-
it took them to sign all the paperwork.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A certain percentage of that is taken up just on the mere logistics of trying to turn in
Exactly.
all that paperwork.
Yeah.
They probably didn't even debate his actual case. The only thing they would have debated was the Erica Patterson situation.
Yeah.
That's what took them so long.
Probably. So that, they also wanted free dinner because they probably walked in like, all right, look, this motherfucker guilty of sin. Look, before we start signing all this shit, let's get some Chinese, okay? Hey, look, bailiff, we want some Chinese up in here. Extra duck sauce, okay? Thanks, man. Oh, you want sweet and sour? Hey, she wants sweet and sour, all right? A shit ton.
He extended this trial so far past the expected conviction date. They were probably just ready and dying to get the F out of there. Like, they probably put in for a certain amount of time with, a few days extra or under, just in case, and they went way over that. So I'm sure every juror was just dying for this to be over with.
And that closing or
Oh god.
argument he didn't help.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, there's at least one old man juror on that jury. I guarantee he was like, "Look, can we hurry up? I gotta go take a shit. Come on now, goddammit. Let's just start signing. Give me a fucking pen. I'll sign this motherfucker myself. I got to go."
It's conflicting with what he's testifying. So I was trying to get at the credibility of it. That was my whole aim.
What does the news reports have to do with that, sir?
The news reports are relevant just by the sheer amount of reporting that they've been. This has been going on for a year.
That assumes facts, not an evidence, sir. So this witness did not identify you during this trial. This witness testified as to his observations regarding the date in question, his injuries, and other things surrounding what he saw and heard and what he didn't see and hear. So the news reports don't have any bearing on his credibility. The points that you bring up are arguments that you may make if you choose during your closing arguments. But the questions you are asking don't further that theory. So that's why I cut you off, because there was not anything that you were connecting by way of relevance.
With all due respect, Your Honor, a lot of the questions I ask are
irrelevant,
objected to. It seems like I can't even get to the questions that need to be answered.
Stupid.
Sir, many of your questions
Dumb as a sack
go
of
to
shit.
these sovereign ideas that are frivolous arguments about the plaintiff and all of that. We give you a little bit of leeway. I'll give you a little bit of leeway on it, but to ask about a claim, because frankly it's a vague question, and many of these victims may in fact have made a claim with crime victim compensation, and so I think that's potentially relevant, but you may be asking it for a different purpose. I'm allowing it probably for a different purpose than you're anticipating, but the questions about the state and the plaintiff, other than when you talk about and you ask questions about who subpoenaed them, have they reviewed anything in preparation for their testimony, those are all fair game. But other questions are not, and that's why there's an objection, and that's why I rule the way that I do. So ask relevant questions, they'll be answered. So
it's basically like, sir, I've got your number. Like,
Yeah.
She's figured out his game at this point.
Oh yeah, his strategy is about as fucking transparent as a freshly wiped down window.
and just, well, I mean, it didn't take this many days for her to. She saw what he was up to in the preliminary hearings where he was trying to fire his attorneys. She already like had his ticket pulled. Like, she knew what she was getting in for.
And I
my heart
guarantee
goes out to her, because she I don't have the patience whatsoever.
Yeah, and I guarantee the lawyers that he fired were getting drunk with joy playing the Darrell Brooks drinking game. I guarantee it.
They were wasted. Like, you go like 10 minutes into a thing. If subject matter jurisdiction was the word of the day, like, you're already wasted first thing in the morning.
Oh no! What they would do is every time he would say grounds, they had to take a shot. Okay, grounds. Oh, no more.
Oh, I do not consent to being called by that name. Shit.
God
Here
damn,
we go
no
again.
more. No more. I'm already half a bottle of tequila in. It's only 8:00 in the morning.
Witness to be brought back in. I don't believe that witness was on Mr. Brooks's list, so that witness is excused. Who's the next witness?
With all respect, on the record, Your Honor.
I've asked a question of the state. Let them answer, please.
Mr.
Brooks, let them answer. Hold on.
You know he's on his bullshit when he starts in with with all due respect. You know some sovereign bullshit's about to come out of his mouth every time. It's like a signifier. Might as well hold up a sign that says stupidity incoming. With all due respect, here we go.
We had intended on
He obviously doesn't know what that phrase means, with all due respect.
Who would provide testimony about his conducting the speed analysis of the vehicle. I don't expect that we'd be able to get through direct well, we might be able to get through direct.
I'd like to at least have him start. I want to go closer to the lunch hour today.
So the other issue is that we thought we were going to be breaking for lunch, so he's not in the building right now. We have another witness who is ready, who we could call out of order, but that would be moving into a new topic, a new group along the parade route. So we're fine with whatever the court wants to do.
I'd like to keep going, so I'll defer to you on which witness to call.
Your Honor, I would just note, I don't believe I asked for it, maybe I did. Jeff Rogers, I know he has remained in the courtroom, he is a victim. Is he excused from his subpoena? He was not an individual who we were provided a subpoena for by Mr. Brooks.
He's excused.
Thank you.
All right, we'll bring the jury back out and you may call. Quickly, Mr. Brooks.
You made reference to questions I asked and being, you said something to the effect of sovereign things. I don't understand what you mean by that.
Oh my God! Why do they all do pause, Nawson? Nate, Nawson, if you pause, please. Why do they all do this? Every sovereign citizen always says, I'm not a sovereign. It's either like, oh, I'm a state national, or a sovereign citizen. That's an oxymoron. Like, you know what the hell you are. It says it right on the top of the website. You pulled all this fucking paperwork from. Like, stop trying to play this game that you aren't this sovereign. It's so fucking stupid.
Oh, I'm not a sovereign. I'm a free man of the land. I'm a Moor. Shut the fuck up, you idiot.
Yeah, it's all the same crap.
I don't understand the sovereign thing. You say you don't understand the sovereign. Nobody understands it. It doesn't make sense. Come on.
Does that make them illegal then? If they're not citizens of the USA, does that make them illegals?
Yeah, that's a good question too. Yeah, if you're not a citizen, we should be looking into deport you.
Well, then the other thing you have is that they were all collecting welfare. So.
Oh yeah, so that's an even further point. If you're if you're not a sovereign citizen, give me back all your fucking EBT cards then, because you're getting benefits you're not entitled to.
But then that brings up another point. How can they get those benefits and everything if they don't have a state-issued ID because they don't want to contract with the state or a name?
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, it makes no sense. He's right.
Another sovereign thing that I find hilarious, right? When they get pulled over, they say, oh, I'm driving, I'm not traveling. You don't need a license to travel. So by that same logic, does a pilot need a license to fucking fly a plane? Like, can I just hop into a plane and just fly it willy-nilly wherever I want? Like, to what extent is there a cutoff to your insane logic?
Okay, I can actually argue that one.
Oh, dear.
I gotta dig down. I gotta deep into the stupidest part of my fucking brain for this one, but just hear me out. All right. The one about the pilot one, they have to have an ID because they are in commerce because they're hauling people.
What if it's cargo?
Same thing. They still got to have a license because you're hauling cargo because you're engaging in commerce. So if you're hauling people, livestock, or goods, then it would technically be driving, not traveling. If you're just hauling only yourself and nothing else, then it's not considered driving or whatever. Then it's only traveling. It's the stupidest fucking thing in the world. I have to go take a shower now to clean myself of stupidity.
So, by that same logic, I could fly a G5 airplane as long as nobody's in it?
According to sovereign citizen stupidity, yeah. You can fly a C-130 a C-130 Spectre gunship as long as you're not hollering any people, or a C-130 Hercules, and no people, no goods, just a plane and fuel, and it's perfectly fine.
I could get into a tank and just make my merry way all the way across the nation.
Well,
so
that would actually be kind of awesome.
I'm not trying to sit here and I got enough work to do on the fly. I'm definitely not trying to sit here and trying to anticipate what will be objected to, what will be ruled on in any way.
Maybe you should be.
It was
Isn't that all part of the job to anticipate what could happen?
Look at how fast his head is shaking. It's like he's having a seizure.
That's how he makes his brain work. He like shakes that little like bean inside his head against the sides to make it like tingle and like have thoughts.
It's like jump starting an engine. He's got to get some kinetic energy going to like pop the clutch.
No, he's shaking his head side to side so much because he's trying to get that damn hamster to get back on the wheel. Okay, he keeps going to slide off. That little hamster keeps falling right off. He's like, "Get back on the fucking wheel, you little bastard! Get back on! Stay!"
God dang it!
New thing for me to do. I apologize if I'm not as polished as I should be. Working on 3 days' time before trial.
Oh God!
All the work
Your
that
fault.
I have that I haven't even gone through.
Mr. Brooks, the jury's coming back in.
For the record, I don't consent to that name, and I don't consent to the arguments that the prosecution made. They're all relevant.
Yeah, my name is not Darrell Brooks. It's Darnisha, bitch, queen of the cell block. Get it right.
To know who the plaintiff is in this matter. I think it's fair to them.
My question is, what does he actually consent to? If he doesn't consent to his name, he doesn't consent to being in the court, he doesn't consent to whatever you just said there, what does he consent to?
The charges being dismissed, that's what he would consent to, and nothing less.
And when they pay a soup and a honey bun rent to his prison husband, he gonna be consenting to a lot of shit.
I don't think his consent's gonna be needed in that factor.
It goes easier when he consents. It just goes easier.
The only thing that's going to change is he'll either get a honey bun or he won't.
Yeah. Honey bun. Oh man, it's not gross.
He'll either get a honey bun or a black eye.
He is the honey bun.
It's a missing.
Oh, that glaze.
Oh dear.
Informed and intelligent decision. They should know who the plaintiff is.
See, there he goes. Pause it one more time. He's saying us all in front of the jury, and he thinks that he's doing something. Like, he thinks that he's instilling doubt in the jury's minds. But I guarantee you, they are all rolling their eyes right now. Like, Jesus Christ, dude, shut up.
Yeah.
Dude, if that jury rolls their eyes any harder, they're going to be able to see back in time.
Sir, your objections noted for the record.
Will legal finding of fact on that ruling, Your Honor?
Just straight up ignores him.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated.
Like the jury, hokey pokey, bring the jury in. Bring the jury out. Twist and shout.
Alright, well that's going to do it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. You made it to the end, so I assume you did. Real quick before we go, I wanted to say thank you to my newest patrons. Tammy Barber, she's a $10 patron. Thank you so much. Vicky Bramlett, Harper's One-Nighter, welcome to the Squirrel Pup family all. Thank you so much. You can also become a part of the Squirrel Pup family on Patreon. It's only $1. You'll get direct access to me, and I'm actually going to make some exclusive content for there. And you'll also get an on-screen shout-out just like these people did. Link is in my description. You can also join the channel Discord and come on to the next CaseWatch episode, just like the guests on this one did. I already have 3 spots filled for next Sunday, but I am looking for new people still. So if that interests you, click the link in the description to join the Discord, DM me, and we'll get you on there. Alright, with that, all the YouTube stuff is done. Thank you again for watching. Have yourself a great day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Pet your dog. Pet your dog for me. Go. Stop. Just go and enjoy yourself. Go paint a painting. Or sail the ocean. Or go or fight a bear. Just don't do anything I wouldn't do. Okay? Alright, guys. I love ya. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.